My upstairs neighbor wears sandals and dresses all in black, like a Vietnamese peasant. Actually, he's a third-generation farm boy, Scott is, from Michigan. Scott's on a hunger strike these past few days. He tried to get me to sip his base sustenance concoction of molasses and water sprinkled with cayenne pepper. "It'll empty your sinuses," he said. Yeah, just sniffing it cleared me right up, like doing lines. "But why are you fasting?" I asked. "They thought they could quiet me with a 4-cent raise," he said. "No way." So I stood up at the Christmas party and vowed to abstain from food on behalf of exploited hotel and service workers everywhere. "Until they treat us plebeians with dignity," he added. Scott's a seasoned veteran of hunger strikes. He traveled with comedian Dick Gregory back in the 70s, fasting for various causes. This time around, he even called the local newspaper to garner publicity. But a reporter has yet to show up. "Maybe they'll finally take notice when I starve to death," Scott said. Scott is 46 years old. He just got married for the first time a couple of months ago. His wife is 20-some years younger than he is, and no one has seen her yet. She doesn't live with Scott. They have agreed never to sleep with each other, Scott tells me. She speaks mostly Spanish, you see, but she certainly deserves to become a U.S. citizen. "Okay, so it's maybe against the law," Scott says, "but not really. He will always, forever and ever, financially and emotionally support her. And besides, a bubbly young thing like Adriana should have a chance to pursue the American dream, no?" Day or night, Scott's laughter can be heard for blocks. He seems to like who he is. The other day, I wandered into his apartment, and he told me to look in the freezer. Carefully rolled up in a small towel was a dead hawk he had found on the side of the road. A majestic, beautiful bird, eyes still wide open, perched eerily next to the vegetables, frozen solid. Last week, Mr. Unemployed Scott, still fasting, forked out $1,500 to go up to Tampa for 3 days and cut up human cadavers. Why? I don't know exactly. He's a part-time massage therapist, and likely he just wanted to better understand human anatomy. Scott drives weekly up to the hinterlands of rural Immokalee to march and protest with the tomato workers. He flew to Denver recently to plumb his human potential in an EST workshop. He sat around a campfire, he said, getting in touch with his inner self. And just the other day, he took his adopted hound dog Homer canoeing in the Ocala National Forest, camping out and running wild for several nights. Not long ago, Scott bought a little wooden crucifix from a yard sale across the street. Like its predecessor, the famous 14th century Cologne crucifixion, this Christ is expressively rendered in minute detail, with emaciated torso, wiry hair, elongated limbs. But unlike the original, this wooden rendition, which is about 12 inches in height, is missing a left arm. Scott stuck it up on the wall alongside our row of apartment mailboxes with a card that reads, "Wishing you a speedy recovery." Why do I mention Scott? Do I think he is the village oddball? Not for a moment. Maybe if I tell you what happened just yesterday, You will understand. We were both leaning out over our second-floor balcony, talking, laughing, when we noticed a pelican standing on the sidewalk down below in front of us. He didn't seem to be hurt, but neither did he make any kind of normal attempt to go about his business. I figured the bird was sick, maybe with parasites, and hoped that he wouldn't wander out in the street and get hit by a car. But that was mostly the extent of my concern. I went back into my apartment to rehearse the book of Job and the problem of suffering, 2 topics I had to teach that night, and thought nothing more of Mr. Bird. A few minutes later, I heard Scott calling my name. I leaned out over the balcony again, this time to find that he had donned heavy gloves, had found a large towel, and had somehow got Mr. Pelican pinned between his legs and the front wheel of his Toyota truck. "Bring me some scissors," he said. "He's all tangled up in a fish line." I would like to think that on behalf of pelicans everywhere, I acted heroically that day. Not so much. Okay, I helped Scott hold him. And as a former vet assistant, maybe I offered a bit of advice and some moral support. But it was Scott, on his own initiative, who coaxed him in, who clipped the wicked barb off the tip of the fishhook, who disentangled him and gently nudged a grateful pelican back out into the world. We need more salt-of-the-earth people like Scott, fewer ivory tower intellectuals like me.